Have you ever thought about becoming a YouTuber or improving your YouTube channel? Then you came at the right place. This is Toby here, and I'm doing a 500 sub special video where I'm going to explain how I am doing YouTubing because I'm a Let's Player at this channel and how I kind of improved from time to time. And lastly, I'll just talk a little about myself and why I have decided to do YouTubing. But first things first, how I did it was that I used 4 of these elements: PlayStation Share, OBS Studio, Capture Card HD60S, and lastly, it's actually a rendering and editing program, Resolve. These are the sources I have used to record my games. So let's start with the one I have been starting with. Number 1, PlayStation Share. Now this is mainly a PlayStation talk. This helps those who has a PlayStation console wants to record their games here. So if you're ready to do a Nintendo Switch or Xbox One content, then you can just skip this part of the video. Now onto the topic. Did you know you can record your games on the PlayStation 4? Because you most certainly can. That is by pressing the share button twice on your controller, just like this. If you do, there's going to be this symbol right here that shows that you're recording your game right now. So here I am, recording my game like this, and then I'm just floating forwards in just a few seconds. I'm just recording on my phone right now. So after this, after some few minutes, you can just stop your recording right now by pressing the share button twice again, and then they're going to show video clips save. Now after that it's saved, you can go back to this called the Capture Gallery. This is where you can find all your screenshots of any games or recordings. So here's something like Naruto, Final Fantasy, and Gravity Rush 2, and Sonic Mania. So you just have to go here, and there it is. This is the game I just recorded and showed to you guys. It might not be in the highest resolution, it's only at 720p, but I think that's a good standard quality because it's still HD. I hope the 720p still counts as HD. Now after that, you could go to this called the Share Factory. It's going to download a few seconds. But here we are, Share Factory. What you see right away is your main menu. Oops. And what you see here is the new project. This is where you can put all your videos together and then edit them how many times you want to or how crazy you want to edit them. And then this is your last project. This is something you just saved and want to work on next time. And then you have the photos, you know, the screenshots you can put together. I actually made them just to put up some good thumbnails. But if you want to do screenshots, you just need to hold or tap the share button once. And yeah, it's pretty simple. But let's go to new project. What you see here are the intros that Sony themselves has made. This is something you can put on into videos if you want to. They're usually going to show off your profile and your profile name, you know, picture, if you so want to have it. But me, I usually don't put it onto my videos because this is not something I have made. But let's go to select into this comic book intro. And what I usually do is go to buy games because it's much easier to navigate your your game this way. If you go to alphabetics, then it's going to be like that, you know, alphabetic. So let's go to buy games because, you know, easier. And let's go to Gravity Rush 2. So I can just take some few parts of these clips here by pressing the X button. Also Naruto and Final Fantasy 7. And let's go to start project by pressing the square button. And there we have it. This is my video clips here put on together. And let's look at this comic here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty slick too. Yeah, this is my name and my profile. This is the one from Horizon Zero Dawn. And after that, they're going to show you a video right here. Now, there are tons of things to do. Let's try and experiment a little. So, if you're pressing the D-pad up, then it's going to zoom in with your videos, you know. They're actually a little bigger, but that's much easier for you to thoroughly look at your clips. But if you want to be smaller, just to scroll left or right east much faster, they're just pressing the D-pad down. And then it's just like that. But let's make it a little bigger. Yes. And then there's something else. The square and the X button. And then there's the circle button if you want to go back to the main menu. But here in this X button, it means that you can just add up something like the screenshot or more clips. And then there's some add tracks. Oh wait, I usually don't use that, but this is where you can put some other devices like your microphone or maybe some kind of camera. But I never actually do that. I'm just using my microphone that you can actually put on your controller. Yeah, so what I did about my controller is that if you want to record your games from a microphone, I have this very special microphone that I conveniently just got just for this game, just from a controller here, that actually uses both the sound and my microphone together. So I was very lucky to do a commentary. And then you have these transitions that you can put on if you want to. But first, I just want to split my clips. And that's by going to, split clips. By pressing the X button, you're going to split it. And then around here, I can add my transition. And you can do that if you want to. Okay, these are just the comic books I just put on. But let's try this one. I hope it works. Yep, there's the transition. This is the PlayStation transition that they've made it for you as well. And here you have the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. This is one of my favorite fighting games. Now, there's something you have to be mindful about this though. If you're going to record your games, you have to be mindful of these black borders right here. Sometimes they're just going to put their names on just to show who's made the game, like the copyright and stuff. And sometimes it just looks very distracting. Like, if you're just a viewer, you're probably going to ask, why is there this black border right here? What do you put it on? But that's because of the share and the copyright that Sony has is very concentrated on. So just be mindful of that. But not all games are like that. Like, surprisingly, Final Fantasy VII doesn't really have that at all. So that's good. And not even Gravity Rush 2. So that's good. It's really good that games doesn't have that, just so it doesn't look too distracting. But games like Sonic Mania, it has that as well. It has the Sega logo, with a copyright symbol. But it doesn't look too big, so that's a cute plus for them too. Like, you can show off your name, but just don't make it too big. Now, if you want to fool around with your videos and clips, then you could go to square button. This is where you're going to change up with your clips, or maybe just make it a little, weird and stuff. I usually do that. Now, if you want to move it, you could go to move clips, and then you can press the L or R1 button, and then you could do that. Now, when I moved it, this one actually moved as well. Or maybe not, but what I did here is that I moved these clips, from the fancy clips. And then it's going to between this video and this video. But now I just want to move it to the right, and now it's at the last. Now, if you want to make it go even faster or slower, you could go to Time Bender. And Time Bender just makes it go very slow or very fast. Like right here, now it's going at slow motion. Just look at Cloud just whack that block. Now, if you want to go even faster, you could go to double the speed. And now it's going even faster. Just look at him, just wrecking that ball right there. Okay, that was kind of fun. And there's something else that I just found out that I should have done years ago. If you go to Add Filter, you can see this tree right here. This is kind of like an example of how the videos or clips or soundtracks, why did I say soundtrack? Screenshots can look like. So if you go to this one called Inverted, then it's going to look like this. I really like that. I mean, it really, it made the colors into the negative effect, and it kind of looks like that. Just look at it. Okay, let's try and see how his ultimate looked like. Okay, this looks kind of slick. Okay, and if you wanted to go back, then just go to saturated. Yes, okay, now it looks kind of normal. Now, if you want to pause, then you can just press the R2 button. That's kind of like an on and go button. And then you can press the options. And here you see this. The save project and generate thumbnails. Generate thumbnails means that the clip you want to pause and then put on your video so that people can see that on YouTube, you can just press the generate thumbnail here. So if you upload your video on YouTube, it's going to stay like this. And then you can go to save projects, just so that save your project. And then you can go to view help if you want more information how to do things and share. Export to gallery. I guess you could do that. Okay, no, you don't have to. But that's kind of like the big things about the share. There's so many things to do here already. And I think it's a good beginning part for YouTubing. That's how I did it. And like I said before, these videos are only going to be at 720p. But I think it's a good standards for good HD videos that you want to do. I was actually very pleased about it. Of course, it's a shame they're not going to be at 60 FPS, but hey, I still think it looks pretty good. And I still think it's something that viewers are going to enjoy. It's not always about the big quality, it's about how you make this into good quality. Now after all this, you could go to the triangle button, and then you can render your video. I just removed the clip from Final Fantasy VII Remake because it was pretty long. Now if you want to work on your video later, just go to circle button and you can go to save project and exit. One last thing I have to warn you guys, that because of Sony and the copyright and stuff for any companies, is that they're perhaps going to block all the cutscenes in a video game. Me, for example, they blocked Ratchet & Clank 2016 on all these cutscenes, but also Sonic Forces when I did my full Let's Play of it. None of the cutscenes are actually shown in this entire game, and that really sucks because if my viewers are going to watch me play some games, they really want to see the whole thing about the game. But unfortunately, they can't do that, and that just sucks. And don't get me started on Persona 5, because there you can actually record the whole game. They actually blocked the game entirely. And I think it's because of the spoilers. I can't really go against them on that, more power on them, but seriously, I think this game is over 3 years old now. I think many people already knows what this game is. So that's just what I want to say to you all before really starting on your game. Just make sure that you know that this game can be fully recorded, and not just blocking all the cutscenes but not the gameplay. Before you do any recordings, there are two important factors that I have to show you all. So first, go to settings and go to something called sharing and broadcast. There it is. And here it is, length of video clips. I set it up into 60 minutes because the more the merrier. You want it to be as long as possible. And here you can set up to how long you want to record your games, but why do you even want to set it up to 30 seconds? That's because the default of the sharing, the recordings is up to 15 minutes. When I first recorded games like Sonic Mania, I didn't even know that it's only up to 15 minutes. And that kind of threw me off because I was middle of something good at walkthrough there. So, when I first found out about it, I put it up to 60 minutes because you want it to be as long as possible. And if you think that you could just edit your videos to be longer than 60 minutes, you can't. It can only be up to 60 minutes, whether it's editing or recordings. So just remember that. Another thing is, if you want to connect your YouTube account with the sharing with all the video you want to upload, you have to go to link with other services, and there you're gonna see Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So here on YouTube, you just gonna have to, I think you just need to find your account by pressing your Gmail and your password, and it's just like that. Pretty easy, right? that's just what you have to do. I think you're just going to see that you have to tap on your Gmails and then your password, and then you have it. The rest is up to you. Number 2, OBS Studio. Now this is a software I think you all know. This is a completely free recording software, and it's pretty easy to use. You can record it anywhere on your PC, but I mostly use it right now to make my recordings on my microphone, and I'll explain why later. But let's go to the basics. So, in order to make sure that you can record your games on PC, first you have to go to Ads, and then there's Scene 4 because this is the 4th one. Let's just go over that. And then you have to go Add again, but this time on something called Sources. And then you have to go to Display Capture. Just picking a name, but let's just go to OK. And there you have it. You have already made a screen recordings on your PC. And here's the display, 1080p. Thank you very much. Pretty easy, right? So after that, you can just go to the settings, and there you can perhaps improve your resolution by going to output. Oh, wait a minute, no, it's not there. A video. Oops. But what you do here is you can just increase your resolution at 1080p at a canvas. I think canvas is basically just cropping or maybe increasing your big screen right here. Just like here in my screen. And then scaled, you know, the output. This is where they actually increase the resolution by making the screen a little more clear. And then there's the downscale filter. I think this is where you're going to increase it more. Now I can't really click on it because I'm recording right now. But what you're just doing here is just going way down to something called sharpen scaling, 36 samples. This is the highest. And then there's common FPS, you know, 60 frames per second if you so wish. And then you can go to output. Now this is something I think you should all know, because the first time I actually used the OBS Studio, that was way back in 2018. One of the first video games I've recorded, that was Sonic Lost World. I know, I'm a big Sonic fan. And it looks pretty crappy right now now that I'm looking back at it. Because when I first saw it, I wasn't very pleased to see how pixelated it all looks. Especially when Sonic is just going at full speed. You want the screen to be very clear, or else it's going to look very blurry. So what I do here is that I increase the video bitrate at 3500. I've heard this is the most common number to use to make sure it looks really, really good. So I did just that, and they look a lot better. Maybe it was way down to 2000, and that was a bit too low. So what you do here is just increase your OBS Studio at maximum resolution, and then the bitrate if you so wish. Just make sure that your PC can actually handle it. But that's kind of it I can say about it. Oh, and what I also do is that I put the recording quality at high quality. You know, I want it to be as good as possible. And then the recording path, this is where you can actually just click on the browse. And I want to make sure that you actually make a filter. You know, where you click on something new and then new filter. Because then all your recording, you know, your video clips is going to transfer directly there once you stop recording your whatever you're recording. So that's one of the things I just want you to know. And here at the desktop audio, this is where you're going to hear the sounds from your video games, or maybe some other stuff you want to hear. You know, if it's just one thing, you're just going to hear it everywhere. And this is like here. This is where I hear both video anywhere from YouTubing or maybe some other stuff I want to hear, and also some video games. So just make sure it's just the one thing, because there are a lot of things here, but not all of them actually connects to all of them. And then here at the microphone, I put it on default because it was a nightmare to actually put a microphone into good standards, because when I tried to do the microphone, it took me a bit of time to actually make sure that this buzzing, you know, the sound that's coming out of your microphone. It can happen many times, so that's why I'm just trying many things as possible, just to make sure it doesn't come too often. So I put on a default. That was my best options. But to really make sure that the buzzing doesn't come or maybe too loudly, I go to this called, you just go to this gear right here, and then go on to filter, and then you're going to find this. It's something you can add up from here, and I put something called the noise suppression, so that the buzzing sound doesn't come too often. Okay, let's just stay quiet here. Just look at the green meter here. Yeah, it's going to be like that. But if I put it a bit too loudly, it's going to sound a little worse, I think. I can't hear that myself, but maybe you can. And the buzzing sound is coming a bit more up, if you can hear that. Okay, just putting a little down like this. Okay, that's good. So that's just everything I want to show you all. Just make sure that the microphone is really good if you want to do some good Let's Play commentary. Well, that was it for me on OBS Studio. There are a lot more you can do here. You can also go to more of these filters and make sure that everything is top notch. Also remember that this software recording is completely free, so you can just upload it if you want to, just to record all your games at your computer. Number 3, Capture Card HD60S. Now this is my current way to record my games and my consoles, and for obvious reasons. This one can go up to 1080p and 60 FPS. Now the OBS Studio can't do the very same thing, but this one is much more consistent. I don't have any sort of problems like lags and something like that. And this is why I think this is such a blessing to use. You can also use it on your PC, if you so wish, but sometimes I had to switch between it and the consoles by switching the cables and everything, and that can be a pain sometimes. But other than that, I really like this one because you record all my games at a really good quality without any big lags that's coming around. And yeah, this is such a really good device that I bought. Now I will say that this is only worth it if you really want to go up to the next level on YouTube Let's Playing or maybe walkthroughs or whatnot, because it could cost around $200 or maybe $150. I bought this one and I don't actually know how much it costs in USA or other countries, but I bought this one and it's cost us half as much as a Nintendo Switch, you know, $300. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth it for me at least, because now I did grow my subscribers count a little more, so that's why I really wanted to get it, and because I really love YouTubing. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Now what to do here? Well, you can go to this red button here, that makes you able to record your games. Now everything is on Danish, so I'll try to explain it all. But yeah, this is the recording button, so you can record all your games. This is the green button that's called Stream, where you can just stream your game at YouTube. You just have to connect it through it and the capture cards in order to do that. I think you just have to press this button, or maybe you have to do something more. And here's the blue button, that's the microphone. So if you want to do some commentary, then you press the button right over here. Now what other things are there to see? Well, you could go to this one, the options, where you can just put your game to the next level. So what you see here are the input right here. This is the list of all of these devices you can use to record with the capture card. Xbox One, 360, PlayStation 4, PC, and then there's some tablets and phones, the Wii U, and Switch. And there's some others, like, I don't really know. And here you can go to 1080p, mobile and standards. I just go to 1080p because quality. And there's the 60 FPS. Everybody wants to go to 60 FPS. And here is the big thing, the quality. You might actually really want to go up to the max, but be careful about doing that. Now it's just going to going up black right now. But if you do that, it's going to look a lot better. You might not see the big difference right now, but you'll probably see. But if you do that, you're going to increase the gigabytes here. So if you're very limited on space, like I am right now, then you might be careful about that. But still, it's really cool to just increase it. And what is there to see? You can just put all of them in the settings. Just put it on if you want to. I always do that. And here's the picture. So you can just lighten up or maybe very dark. Okay, it's very bright. And here's the contrast. Like, see how it looks. Okay, it looks really, really weird. Oh, look at Ratchet. Look at his eyes. Okay, just going back here. Yes. And here's the... Okay, I don't actually know what it means on English, but let's see. Yeah, it makes the picture a lot more hotter and a bit colder. Ah, it's black and white. And the nuance. Let's see how that one is. Okay. Yeah, so it looks pretty interesting. Okay, just gonna put it right. And then you go to the volume. I think this is where you're going to hear only one side of your headphone. Okay, I can't even move it. And here's the profile. I actually don't ever go to this one here, but you probably don't need to. Oh man. Okay, good. And here's the streaming. This is where you're going to just write out the title right here. That's what I actually did for the Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 9. And this is my name on YouTube. So, okay, I'm just gonna press it right here. And yeah, you can just put some adjustments and try to see if a way you can connect your YouTube channel to this one. And here is the volume. I'm not going to increase any of this, don't worry. And this is where you're going to hear your own voice, like this. And what is there to see here? Yeah, I don't actually touch it that much. This is where you're actually going to remove the buzzing, but it never actually helped me. Let me tell you one problem I have with this capture card. When I tried to record the Kingdom Hearts Let's Play, I noticed the buzzing just coming off my microphone and tried to record my game, and that was so distracting. Like, I can just hear it, and I don't know how I can actually remove it. So I tried to increase it, or decrease it, but it never really helped me. So I tried to figure a way, and I used the OBS Studio to actually record my voice, and that helped a ton from my problems with this one. So just one of the drawbacks in the capture card. You may fix it in a way, maybe get a better microphone, but yeah, I'm just using the OBS Studio as an alternative way to just remove the buzzing. And here's the title for your video clips from capture card. I'm just gonna rewrite it in a way on YouTube, so it doesn't really help a ton that much. I'm just going to edit them all and resolve. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of the capture card. There's so much more to do about it, but I'll try to explain it a bit later. But that is it about the recordings here. It's really not that problematic. It's all pretty simple. Here's the recording, stream, and commentary. And here you can find a way to connect your YouTube channel to this one. So I don't think it's that much of a problem. Just few of the drawbacks. It's going to cost you a ton, and you know, the microphone buzzing you have to fix. Just use the OBS Studio as an alternative way to do that. It's thanks to the compression, I'm sure you can actually make it into a good quality of commentary video you can make. There are two things I have to say to all of you PlayStation 3 and 4 owners, and it's very important if you want to record your games from capture card. First, you have to go to the settings, and then go to the system, and here it is, the HDCP. HDCP works like this. They're actually blocking you from recording any games from your systems, 3 and 4. In 4, you're actually able to turn it on and off. If it's turned on, you can actually record your games from the capture card. So if I just turn it on like this, it's going completely black. And yeah, you can't even see anything here. And in the capture card right on top to the right, it's basically saying, it will actually say at the red field that the HCCP is on. So now I'm just gonna turn it off. Yeah, there it is, the red field here. It just means that the HCCP is on, but now I'll turn it off. But if it's actually turned off, you can actually record your games. The only drawbacks is that you can't watch your movies, and some of the applications cannot be used. Yeah, like the movies. So, that's just something I have to say about this. But PlayStation 3, yeah, that one is much more unfortunate.
Number 3.5, HDMI splitter. There aren't any possible ways to actually turn off the HDCP on the PlayStation 3. And that really sucks because there are so many games that I wanted to record, especially childhood games, which is why I have to find a way to record them. And that is by buying the HDMI splitter. This automatically makes you able to just record all your games, bend the rules. And then the HDCP is completely history. You just have to put this onto the USB port on the PlayStation 3 because that's where all the power is coming from. And then you have to connect it with this HDMI here. And you have to use the HDMI from the catch card where it says in, because not out but in. And then you have to put that one into this port. Actually, one of these ports here. It doesn't matter which one, just put one of them here. I don't exactly know what these HDMI splitters are actually used for, but my guess is just to work on two devices with two screens. But I'm mainly using it just to makes it able to record any of my PlayStation 3 games. And it works like a charm. I really like it. So it's not anything to you as Switch or Xbox owners, you're automatically able to record your games. Lucky you. But me, I have to find a way to do this just to record all my games.
And lastly, number 4, DaVinci Resolve. This is something I was mostly excited to show you on this video. This is a software known to edit and render your videos just like in Share Factory. But not to mention you can do this on 4K 60 frames per second if you so wish. This monster has actually many possibilities. Like, you may not feel that it's very strict. No, you can do so many things on it. And the best part is, it's completely free! You can download it right now and then have OBS Studio, and then you have the whole set to do YouTubing. Now let's not waste time here and check it all out. This is all the servers that you can make for all these different videos that you want to make. It's going to save up all the changes you're going to do on it, including the cropping and the audio and maybe some other changes for your video. So it's very good to make all this just to save up all the headaches you may get. So let's go to new project, create a new server. Yeah, always call server. Now let's go. I'm just gonna write the basics, because that's almost how much I can explain, because since there's so... Alright, let's not waste any time here. Do you see all these projects that I've made? You can almost create as many as you want. These are all going to save up all the changes that you have made on Resolve, like the editings and stuff. So if you want to create and make different footages, then it's very good to make make a bunch, maybe up to 3, just to save up the headache. So let's go and make a new one. I'm gonna write the basics because that is almost how much I can explain, because since there's so many options of Resolve, then I can't really fill up everything there is. So here we are. This is the editing that you can do, as you can see here. And then there's the fusion. Okay, it's gonna load. Then there's color. And once this color, Fairlight and deliver. Deliver is where you're going to render your video if you've done. So let's go over here. And now we're gonna drag a video. And voila. I highly suggest that if you're going to make a 60 frames per second video, then they'll always recommend to put them first, because they're going to ask, do you want to make change or not? I'm just going to say change because this is a 60 FPS video that I've recorded. So if you do put it on, if you do put it on, it's going to stick with 60 frames per second from here on out, or because if you do drag it on, it's going to be 60 frames per second on the resolve, unless you want to lower it. So if you put 30, it's only going to maximize it at 30 frames per second, so yeah, do mind that. But this is a video of a Ratchet Deadlock that I'm definitely not going to make a let's play of. And let's try and check.
Greetings, hero, and welcome to Dread Zone.
Alright, so what can you do here? Well, the first thing I want to do, if I want to make it very clean on YouTube, because YouTube can make your video just lower quality, then I always just press on my video, you know, it's going to mark red, and I'm just going down here, and then I go to retime and scaling, and then I'm going to turn it on with sharper, because then my video just looks a little better. Maybe not much, but still a little better. And you see this red liner here? This is actually what's been used to play your video, and you know, trying to see what it's going to show here, right on top. You can also use it for something else. If we go right here, just left click it, and then you're going to hold the control button and B button, and then you can split your video like this. And then yes, it's completely off. And you can do this how many times that you want. Aha. But if you want to undo the action, you can just hold the control button and press the set button. Now this is something that's going to save up all the headaches you may get, because if you make some kind of accident on your footage, then you can just hold the control and set button to undo everything that you don't want to do, which I find very useful. You can also copy and paste your footage. So if you go right here and then press the C button, that means control and copy, then you can drag your red liner over here and then hold the control and V button, and then you made a copy, just like that. Also, if you want to zoom in and out with your video just like in Share Factory, just hold the Alt button and then roll with your mouse, and then it's even bigger. Yeah, like this, even bigger. Now all these controls that I've mentioned, this is something you can typically use on your keyboard almost anywhere. So it's not only at a resolve, so you may actually know that. Now green and the blue field here. The blue are usually the ones that's actually a screen that you can watch right on top here. And the green one, this is the volume. You can increase it individual like this, or you can go over here at audio 1 and main 1. Main 1 is actually used to increase the volume of everything on your editings here. But if you just want to increase just one of them, then you can go to audio 1, or maybe just use this one. Or you can go right over here. There are 3 different options to just increase the volume. So for example, I'm just going to drag this one here, and now if I just take it up here, and here it is, the audio 2, and then video 2. Because then you can do some different things on each of them, so that the other one doesn't get increased as well. So here is the audio 2, you can increase it like this, and it's not going to affect anything about the other one. Pretty good. And just like in Share Factory, you can also put some video transition. Do you see this over here? This is all the toolboxes that you can use. You know, like video transition, audio transition, titles, generator. Now let's try the transition. Yeah, you could just put this over here. Now if I go right here, just gonna split the video up like this. And then you can right click on it. Yes, there are many options here. Then you can just press the button called cut or ribbon cut. Cut is kind of basic. It's the basic one. This is where you're just pressing on it and then the video is completely gone. But if you want to just put all these videos together, then you don't need to do this by yourself. You can just press the ribbon cut and the video automatically links onto the other one, so that you don't have to do this yourself. I'm lazy. Now let's go here and put the, what should we do? The cross dissolve. This one is my favorite. Now I'm just gonna, let's see here.
Greetings, hero, and welcome to
Experience bar.
Yes, the transition is on. And the way you can see it, you have to zoom in. This is the transition you see over here. It's only really visible if you zoom in all the time. You can also, like, make it even thinner, and then it's going to transition even faster, like that. Let's do this again.
and welcome to
Yes, okay, the transition is much lower here. You can also put a title over here if you want to. Just drag one over here, and we have this title. Now just press on it, and you can just write whatever you want. Let's write Lift. That's my name. But you can also use some different fonts on it. Go to font family, and then see a bunch of these fonts that you have available. Now there are some that I have actually put on by myself. You have to find them on internet, but where is it? Now they're all alphabetical, so that's good. Here is Nice's Sega Sonic, and that way it looks like a Sonic font. You can also use something else. Okay, here it is, Super Mario 256. That is what I've also just found on the internet. And then I found this, Bada Boom BB. This is actually a Sly Cooper font. But yeah, just gonna use it over here. And let's see here, you can also do some bunch of stuff with it. But first I just want to drag it over here. If you actually drag it right above the video, it's going to be visible. But if you actually do something like this, it's not going to be visible at all. So I'm just gonna drag it down again. Okay. Now what you can do is give it a new color if you want to. Yes, here it is, the color. So let's give it the color kind of like yellowish or maybe orange-ish. And then you could give it a stroke that is kind of like giving it the black color right outside the text, just to make it more contrast to the environment. You can also give it a drop shadow just to make it even more contrast. Okay, first I'm just going to reposition it. And the way you do that is by going to position. So here's the X and Y axis, and the way you do that is just by going left and right with these numbers here. It's going all crazy. And there you go. You can also zoom it in and out like this, even bigger. Or you could go to size. Zoom and size is kind of like the same thing. But if you go to drop shadow, you could give it a color of something, and something like this is going to appear. Yes, this is the drop shadow. But I'm just going to move it a little. It's very hard to see, but let's give it a color. Let's give it the color red. And now the red color has appeared. Bada boom! And that way it has a new color scheme. Pretty nice. You can also give it blur if you want to, but I never do that. And the opacity, I never actually use that. It just makes it more visible or maybe invisible. Yes, there you go. That is the name. Pretty cool, right? You may also have noticed that if you drag your video to the other one, it's going to be connected automatically like that. You may actually kind of feel that or maybe see that. But if you want to turn it off, you just have to go to snapping, turn it off, and it's not going to do that. Now, snapping is very useful if you don't want to accidentally remove a small part of your video right here at the end. It's really good. I really like this addition they made. There's also something else that you may find pretty useful. Let's just drag it over here. If you right click on your video, you can go to this called the link clips. That way you can actually disconnect the screen and the audio on your video. Yeah, the names are changed. So you could just do that, and there are going to be a single word or maybe a single sound on this video. That's because the audio is completely disconnected. But if you want to connect them again, you just have to drag the sound over here, and then mark them both like this. Right click on it and go to link clips. That way, if you see this symbol, that means it's completely connected. No problem. Now let's try to go all crazy. You see this mark over here? This is where you can use the transform, the crop, dynamic zoom, but I always use these two, mostly the transform. That way you can freely move the screen however you like it. You can also stretch it like giving a big wider screen. Man, it looks disturbing. Or you can just do that. You can also spin it around just like this at 360 degrees. And then you can go to cropping if you want to, and then you can crop your video just like this. Ah yes, that's how I like it. Or you can go to this called cropping, where you can just crop them like this. It's a bit easier to use, but I don't really know. I never actually use cropping at all because I just never do that. And you can go to this called softening, where the screen is going to look a little darker right outside of the field. I mostly use that on my Sonic and the Secret Rings on thumbnails just to make it look very storybook-like, you know, where Sonic just travels to the past. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of everything I can explain about the Resolve. You already know all the techniques that you can use on your videos. So if you want to make a great video, then it's all on you. There's actually 2 more things that I may be able to help you with. Fusion and color. Now let's try to go to the color first, because this one may be a little easy to explain for me. Now watch this. I'm gonna drag this red pointer right over here, where you see Ratchet with his smirky face. Then you go to color. Then, if you want to make a good thumbnail of something, then just right click on the video and go to grab still. After you do that, you just right click on this one and go to export, because then there's going to be a screenshot of this screen here. Then go to fill type, and here is the JPEG. And yes, this is all the thumbnails that I have created for my Let's Play. And then you can go to export. Let's go right over to the picture. And let's see. Okay, I have so many. And here it is. Right over here. Here's Ratchet. Doesn't he look good? So yeah, that's how I make some thumbnails for my video. Of course, I am going to put like part 1 or part 2, and then the logo for this game. But the reason I find color so useful to me is because at one hand, when I tried to make a thumbnail, I had to manually make a thumbnail, like trying to make a marker on it, and that can be a little problematic for me, because when I try to do that on YouTube, sometimes there's going to be a black field right around the thumbnail, and it looks kind of distracting to me. So I really like the fact that I can do that, and it looks pretty good on the thumbnail. Yeah, not the face, you know, the screenshot. You can also do some other funny stuff, like you can change the color of the screen, just like this. Oh yeah, this looks like he's completely triggered. Yeah, it looks just kind of disturbing. I mostly do that on fun, but I never actually use this for something very good. Nor do I actually need it. But hey, it's fun. Oh my gosh, it looks bad. Oh man, it looks bad. Now that's kind of everything I can say about color. There are certainly a lot more you can do on it, but I still have to try and experiment more to learn about the whole Resolve thing. But here's something else that I want to show you. This is my favorite part. If you go to Fusion Composition, you know, right here at Generator and Toolbox, just left click on it, and here's the pointer. Then you go to this called Fusion. The first thing you see on Fusion, this is Media Out 1. This is just the one on Edit. So you're just gonna drag it over here, and then there's something else you can do, like the background and maybe the paint, the text. There's actually a lot you could do on text, and then you could do some nice 3D animation if you so wish. I'm really excited to try out the text 3D because I never did that before. But let's go to the text. Oh wait, okay, I just want to try something. Okay, you can just drag it over here. I feel very comfortable just about doing that. Then just left click it, and yes, here's the options. Your main thing is just like title on the edit, but there's so much more you can do on it. Let's write my name, Cliff Turbo. And then you can drag the screen right here, you know, the text over here. And then you can see my name. Then I go to font, and go to Lisa Sega Sonic. Yes. Now what I want to try to do, let's try and make the font look like something from Sonic Generations. And the way you do that is by going to this, the shading. So here in shading, you can already see all these color options that you can do. Make it completely red, or maybe have the appearance look like this. Yeah, all the fun stuff. It's just like in Photoshop. I tried to use that for myself, but I find this much easier to use than Photoshop, just because the options were a bit too complicated to kind of learn. Now let's go to this called type. Now in type you have already the solid, the image, and then gradient. Okay, let's see the image. Now nothing much have changed here, but let's try and go to gradient. Oops, did you see that? Now it looks a little darker, and that's because the color is black and white. And if I want it to be like Sonic Generations, it has to be golden and blue at the background. Now I'm just gonna click on the black color here, and now I'm going to drag the color. Yes, just like this. And then I'm gonna just make it a bit more yellowish. I'm gonna do the same thing on here, on the white side, and make it a bit yellow here. Okay, just gonna make this one a little darker. Okay, this is fine. Now the text looks a little more yellowish, so let's try to go to select element, because here there are 8 options in total to customize your title name if you so wish. I really like these kind of options because then you can personalize your YouTube name a little more. So let's go to this, number 2. Enable it, and then you see this red line here. This is kind of like the example, but now I want it to be blue. Yes. And if you want to be more perspective, then go to adapt thickness to perspective, and then increase the thickness to the maximum. Yes, this is so much that I can actually make it appear. Unfortunately, I can make it a little more thick, this thick boy here, but I think it's fine. Now let's go to gradient. Oh man, okay, I have to... Okay, it's looking black and white again, but let's make it blue this time. Just gonna change it like this. And then we go over here. Alright! Now it's looking pretty good. Just gonna make it a little more light blue. And booyah! This is looking a little more close to Sonic Generations. Now unfortunately I can't really make it a little more thick, but I believe it's fine. I believe it's fine. Alright, okay, this is the text outline that's actually making it a little more bluish right here at the yellow text. But hey, I think it looks pretty good. It's looking closer to Sonic Generations. I just wish that I have minimal options to make it so. But let's try and go to edit and then let's see if it actually appears. Oh, it actually didn't appear. I wonder why. Oh yeah, that's because I didn't connect the text 1 to media out 1. So now, it's actually visible. So I'm just gonna drag it over here, and yeah. Okay, it's still looking yellow. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, that's how you can make your title appear. So if you want your name to be visible, you can just put it right here at the side. And voila, you can do that. This is amazing. I can't believe it looks that great. I don't know why I said that actually, but I did say before there's two more things that I can say about Resolve. But there's actually one more that I can talk about. Deliver. Deliver is where you can render your video if you're done. And there's quite a few things you have to do. The first thing is the format. The two things that I can only say you have to choose is the MP4 and QuickTime. MP4 mostly because this is something I always choose. One of my teachers even said that this is the best option for me if I want to do a recording video on YouTube. And here is the resolution, very important. This is like 720p, 1080p, this is 4K. You can also customize it if you so wish right over here, where you can write your own resolution. Like 1440p, and then make it 2560. And I think this is the resolution of 1440p at full screen. And here is the frame rate. Yeah, this is actually not complete 60 frames per second, but that's close enough. And here is the quality. This is like the bitrate of the OBS Studio, which I will also say is very important for you to know. Here in Restrict 2, you can see how much you want the bitrate to be. I will say that you can make it very high, but you can also go to automatic and just choose something like the high or maybe best, because then you can make a good quality video that is enjoyable to watch. I always choose high because best doesn't really make much of a difference, except for that it adds more gigabytes to your video, which is not a good sign. But that was it for video. And you don't actually need to do anything about audio because it's fine as it is. The quality sound is good enough. But the export audio, just keep an eye on that one, because if it's completely turned off somehow, then that means the audio is not going to appear on your footage at all. So just turn it on. Now let's go to the file. But if you render this video and then you have the last video called Untitled, then the Resolve is going to ask you if you want to remove your previous video that's called Untitled. And if you're not done with that yet, then don't do that. So what I usually do, just so that it doesn't hurt anything about my previous video, I do this. Just because, why not? After you're done with everything here, just go to Add Render Queue. It's going to ask what file destination you want it to. And I just choose the video here because, yeah, sure, why not? But the first time it does that, if you say save, it's going to, all your video in the future is going to go there from here on out. So you don't have to do this every time, so that's good. But now that that's done, you can just go to start render and your video is going to, render itself. So all you have to do is just wait until it's done. And here's the percenter and the minutes for how long it takes. Sometimes it just increases. But yeah, that was it. You could just stop if you want to. But I believe that's everything I can explain about the Resolve. Everything that I have actually done here. And I really love this software. I haven't actually used any other software with editing and rendering because I'm just very pleased about everything it has in store for me. And it's completely free, can you guys believe it? I've heard that the Premiere Pro can do the same thing, but it costs money to actually use it. So I advise you to just use Resolve if you're completely new to YouTubing. It's really good, you have all the options, maybe so much more so that I can't really explain anything much. Maybe I've only explained like 20% of its power. But yeah, now that I'm done with all of these recordings and then my renderings methods, I can now start with talking about myself.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you're all probably waiting for this. This is my face reveal, and here it is. But it's me, Clifftopper here. Already yet, my real name is Nabil Nanchi. I'm the one who's doing YouTubing at my channel. You know, Let's Plays and stuff. With all these games here. And I'm still going at a school, and still a student. And the last thing is, I was born with autism. Now, video gaming has been a part of my life almost ever since 2005. That's when I first got my PlayStation 2, and then I played a bunch of games, I tell ya. Some of the first ones I played is Sonic the Hedgehog games, like Sonic Heroes. That was the first one I've ever played. And then there's Ratchet and Clank, which I really want to continue on with. And then there's Rayman 3 and Sly Cooper games. These were like my main introductions to video gaming, and I have really sunk my hours into it ever since.
What motivated you to make YouTube?
Well, what really got me into YouTubing, I first discovered it in around 2010 or 11, and I just love watching other gamers play their games like Pokemon or maybe some other Mario or maybe Sonic games. And yeah, that really got me into YouTubing as well. Like, I really want to make these kinds of videos where people are seeing me just play all these different games that I really like. And that started like around 2017. Oh no, wait, 2018. And that's when I first recorded all my games at pretty good quality. That was, like I said before, that was with OBS Studio. And yeah, I really like just recording all my games ever since. I never actually grow tired of it. And YouTubing has slowly becoming one of my top hobbies to make like every day almost, like sport and jogging.
Wow, that's very interesting thing you're explaining there. When you started the YouTube, what about the subscribers? Where you start?
Well, everybody starts with 0 naturally. But if they just keep working on something that you really like me just playing games or making Let's Plays, then you slowly grow more and more up. Or maybe you can find some other alternative to just try and get some audience into your channel, and then you may be ready to just do your stuff that you really want to do. That's a really good strategy you can do, if I say so myself.
Yeah, but what about the subscribers now? How many you have around?
Well, I will say this before that I really want to say thank you all for just growing my channel up to over 500.
Wow.
It's really been a huge honor to just do all these YouTubing, and really glad that so many people really liked it. And yes, I really want to make this video about my 500 sub special, but then in around a whole month where I haven't done some Let's Plays, it has grown slowly up to 571, and I was like, wow,
yeah.
Where did all these people come from?
Yeah, and
I think I know why, but I'll explain that later. But yeah, but some of these people that has been stuck with me for a long time, that was like Blue Blur, and then Wistful, Francis Gaming, and some other cool guys that I really like that you guys came around and just supported me. It was really great. That really motivated me to just make more YouTubing.
And they also comment your videos? And how is the comment if they comment your videos?
Well, I will say at the start, well, there might not so many people, but it was really great to see some just discover my channel and just try to watch my videos. That was just great sight to see. But yeah, some of these people I've seen, they're all pretty nice and have some nice comments and were pretty interested in my videos. So of course I did actually comment on a lot of them, and then I gave them a heart and then a like whenever they're there.
So you are very thankful.
Yeah, very thankful.
That's good. That's good. Also, your if we come to your games right here,
yeah, these are all the games I have right now. Actually, some of them that I really want to do a Let's Play of. Like the Horizon Zero Dawn, Sonic games, like Sonic Generations, and Mania. Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Persona 5, that's the one I really want to do sometime.
Wow.
And then the newcomers, because I got them in my first Nintendo console, Super Mario games and Super Smash Bros. Yes, I finally bought this game. And then there's Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy games. I'm really interested in doing platformer and JRPGs games. Gravity Rush, Sly Cooper, and Puyo Puyo.
And you have really many games. What is your favorite?
Well, by these numbers here, these aren't even the scratch surface. But some of these games I really got into. Actually, you can see that right now on my YouTube image. The frames. That was like Sonic games, of course. But then there's also some other platform games that I really want to do, like Ratchet and Clank games. This is one of my all-time favorite games, by the way. But also Jak and Daxter games, because I'm very unfamiliar with this one. Never played it in my childhood. But since I got the trilogy, I really want to do that one as well. And then there's also the Super Mario games that I really want to do. Just want to see if I can just to see if it's really safe to just do that before then. Then there's also the Sly Cooper games. Maybe you can't see them right now. But yeah, this is the Thieves in Time.
Can I see it again?
Yeah, Thieves in
For
Time.
the followers?
It's right here.
Wow. Nice one. Nice
But
one.
also Final Fantasy. You may have seen this right. Oops. But you see that right now is that I did make some live stream of Final Fantasy 9. And as many of you probably don't know, is that I've really got really into the JRPG ever since I played Final Fantasy 7. But yeah, I played many others like 10 and 12. Really like them.
What about your YouTube? Which game are you playing most when you post a video up? Or is different games you post?
Yeah, I'll say very different games. You may expect me to just do just like one or maybe two platformer mostly. Of course I do, but sometimes I will make some change of plans because something about me is that I always make these kinds of change of plans, so it isn't always that consistent or maybe very. It may not always be something I'll plan like beforehand. Sometimes I am just improvising. But yeah, I always just do these qualified games, and sometimes it may be unexpected. Something you probably may not expect what I'm going to do next. I'm very predictable, but there's mostly all these games that I just really want to do. Something I really excited to do to show you all. So this is going to be something I'll thoroughly enjoy, something I really want to get into, because the best thing about you, if you want to do some good YouTubing, is that you want to do something that you want to mostly enjoy. Not just the audience, but also yourself. Because if you enjoy yourself, then it's going to reflect on how good your YouTube videos can really be. That's how I mostly see it whenever I see people just enjoying themselves and just play games that they really want to do.
And that's also the next question, actually. When you talk about this very interesting thing you are saying, Nabil, but I have one question I just thought about. It was about when you start YouTube. What do you want to say to your subscribers and people around YouTube who are interested in the things you are doing with the games? Have you any words to them if they want to start a YouTube channel and they start from scratch, where you have nil subscribers and like you maybe come up to around 500 subscribers? Do you have any words to say to them, like if they start? How does they have to feel? Because many people they will think about, I have to get many subscribers, but they maybe forget about themselves and enjoy,
Okay, I'll tell you a thing about this. If you first want to do YouTubing, you have to think of yourself, what is it that you really want to do once you start? Because it's not always a good thing to just think about your views or maybe subscribes at first. You have to think about like a good plan or maybe like a good motivation to yourself. Because then there might be people that probably get into your channel.
Yeah.
Maybe try to find something that will attract many people into it. Because then I believe it would be a good sign for yourself or maybe some other people.
And what about if their subscribers, they don't like develop? Then you have to, I think about maybe you have to still keep believing in yourself.
Honestly, if it doesn't grow so much or maybe kind of goes into a stop, then you may probably want to try and find a way to get more people into it. You know, honestly, the one video that I've actually made that actually increased my subscribe count at the most. Did you know that I'm talking about the PS share? There might be some videos that okay, I'll try to explain right now. One of the reasons that my subscribe count has grown quite a lot is because the one video that I've made with PlayStation Share, you know, the one that has the lowest quality of all of them that I've talked about in my video, that video has gotten like over 100,000 views.
Wow.
And that is something that I didn't expect. The one game wasn't actually about all these games I have right here. That's actually a game called Danganronpa. I won't actually spoil anything about it, but you can find it on my channel. And you may never expect this as from me, a platform, as a YouTuber with all these games I have here. But that's true. It's actually Danganronpa that has the highest view rate. And wow, I really didn't expect it to just grow in these 2 years.
Wow.
Pretty weird, huh? But yeah, there are plenty of ways to make your subscribe count increase. You just have to find a way, or maybe it can actually just take luck to actually make people get into it, because some YouTube videos can just randomly get recommended to other people's recommendations videos. So sometimes it either takes luck or maybe skills to actually get your subscribe count increase. That's how it was with me. I was mostly lucky because I wouldn't have gotten that many subscribers if it wasn't for that one video.
Yeah, that's right. So you never know.
But
You never know what it takes, you know, to develop.
But the most important part is that if you want to make your subscribe count increase more, then you're gonna just try to find a way that many people will probably like, or maybe just make your video and just something that you really want to enjoy. Both of these parts works pretty fine.
Yeah. So you just have to keep on believing.
Yeah, keep on believing.
Keep on believing. Never know what it takes. Just follow the road. That's
Yeah.
good, Nabil.
Forgot to say that the one that's recording me right now, and the one that's giving me questions is actually my big brother. He's there to always help me, and that's really great.
Yeah, of course. And also, I'm very proud of you, Nabil. It's a great journey about your YouTube.
Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a great ride.
Yeah.
But now about my autism actually, because that is, you may find it special, because what, a YouTuber that actually has autism? That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's also very interesting, and it's a motivation, I think.
Yeah.
What is sorry, what is the words to, you know, if there's other autism who wanna make like YouTube or something in life, you know, what is the words to them? What will you say to them?
Yeah, you know, The autism, many people has it. You probably don't know this yet, and it really, it may not actually see that much more differently if you see other people, or maybe some, but people like me, I'll kind of view the world maybe a little more differently, or maybe I know something a little more differently, but just one thing that really matters the most is that you still have a good life.
That's true.
And
That's true.
you're still able to talk to people.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's how I can do, and that's the same thing with YouTubing. I'm still able to do this. And some people that just has autism, you can just do so much, just like some people without it.
Yeah,
And that is like YouTubing as well.
yeah.
And yeah,
It's great words, very great words, I swear. And it's also it's good words that you and it's also very strong of you that you say you have autism and you say to people who have autism that you can still talk, you can still work, you can still do your thing.
yeah. I mean, I've seen. Of course, there are some people that are actually using autism as an offensive, and I just find these people like, yeah, he's one of those people.
Yeah.
And here's an example that people like me are actually able to do so much. And they and people like those, they really don't know what they're talking about, but you know. Because me, I can still do a lot.
And I as a brother have seen what you have done in life, and you're still doing the right things. You know, you start with a schedule to now you just do your thing, how it goes in your day. You know, you can go from playing games to go out and run yourself, to go out and shopping for mama and family. You know, you are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also a good story, you know, because there's many autism out there who listening to this. They have to also get the motivation, you know. That's why we talk about your story also with the YouTube and how life have built. You have developed really as a person.
Yeah, but YouTube, there's also a very important reason why I did YouTubing, because ever since I started with it, it actually helped me a lot by doing that, is that I was a very quiet person. Yeah, YouTubing has been one of the parts that's really helped me in life, because I was an introvert, and introverts has always been this part of problem where they can't really what they really don't communicate with people so much, so just like the extrovert, and I'm one of them. It took me a while to just communicate with people really much. Sometimes when I do, I may feel pretty exhausted inside. But it's not like I'm always alone, but of course I have some friends that I'm talking to now and then. But one of the things that really helped me was YouTubing, because when I do some Let's Play commentary, it really helped me, because then I talk a lot, as if there's someone next to me.
So you like training.
Yeah, it's kind of like a training. Not only do I do YouTubing just to have a good hobby and just play some games and whatnot, but also because it really helped me to just train and just talk a lot, because then I may not feel as exhausted when I'm trying to talk to other people in like maybe a whole hour or something.
Yeah, and now actually we have been out and seen a football match today, and there was many people.
Yeah, I talk with many people, yeah.
Yeah, so it's also, you know, so it gives results, because you communicate with people in the football match I saw, you know.
Yeah, there are plenty.
Yeah.
But right now around this time, because there's so much chaos is going on in 2020. I believe there are many people that just want something to do, like when they have quarantine. And now I have this kind of desire or maybe motivation to just have people have more humor or maybe have more happiness, because I believe there's I have a feeling that some people may feel pretty depressed about everything that's happening right now. So now I want to do YouTubing also because I just want people to just have more enjoyment inside of them, because just by having their heads down and just think about a lot of stuff, it's not very healthy for someone's mentality. So YouTubing can also help you so that you can have people to just enjoy themselves and watching videos, because that can also be the reason that you still have there might still have some people that just really want to feel happy.
That's a good thing, very thoughtful thing.
Yeah, it really did help me because at school, because there are so many times where I just haven't letting myself down because of so much stuff is happening. So sometimes things like YouTubing or maybe games or maybe sports, so jogging, it really gonna help your endurance to just go up, and yeah, it really helps.
Yeah, that's good, and very thoughtful of you, and very big human you are, Nabil. You're thinking about other people's in this Corona time also, but also general. You think about others, I want to talk about one thing also. Is about like the autism, and in your life, I have seen the development. As a brother, I've been very close to you, and I've seen in the start when you have autism when you was a child, you have used more schedule for your day. You played many games. You still play many games, but you can also do something between when you are not playing games. So now you don't use schedule anymore, right? And you remember one day I was saying to you, Nabil, we have to go out run when you play games a lot. You remember that day? It was not funny, right? But today, now we are running together, and you can run by yourself. You can go out and shop for the family. You can do your thing. You know, so I have seen the development from what you used to do with the schedule. It's just to say that people with autism, they can change their life completely, like you have done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you feel today? Compared to before?
Much better than ever.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like I've grown a lot in the last 2 years. Like, this is actually my first school year at a school I'm going right now. And the first year was there, I've really gotten into YouTubing and just upped the quality of it a little more. I really had some nice enjoyment just to just do it.
I really also feel you have built up in life, actually, because you can do so many different things. Because people's opinion with autism, they're like you have to do the same thing every day. But you have shown that with autism, yeah, you start with a schedule, you do the same thing every day, but now you have also switched to you can just do things by the time. You know, you can switch and go out if you want. You know, you don't need to do the same things every day.
I'm always this kind of person that just like to try some new things.
Yeah.
I always do.
Yeah, but that was not your on your mind before. But now is on your mind now, and that's the beautiful thing. Just to say that with autism you have many chance, many reasons to go out and enjoy life, and people around who doesn't have autism, we have to respect every kind of human what we are.
We have to respect each other.
Yeah.
That is the most important factor about all of us. We should always respect each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more to say?
Nah, I don't believe there's so much so. But just remember all these recordings I have shown to all of you. You know about the places you share, and then OBS Studio, Resolve, the editing program. These are probably going to help you throughout the YouTubing if you want to start there. And yes, and then I have all these games that I also really want to do at the YouTubing. I don't always just do one, I can do a trillion. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to say. So yes, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll say that's it for me, Nabil90, Cliff Turbo, and YouTubing. And it's been a whole month since I've done Let's Play and stuff. But now I'm ready and back in action.
Peace.
So peace, everybody, and have a nice day. So stay safe and just enjoy it.
Enjoy life.
Yeah.
High five. Yeah.